have a musical.
Yay!
intro.
I told you should do one.
Oh my god, did you really?
Of course.
I'm so excited.
I encourage you to
Which-
save your applause and jeers for the end.
Which of
please.
us has farr?
I'm gonna have to see. I can't do it without the music, but I'll have to just imagine the music.
What do you need? Is it the Figaro? What was it?
I don't know. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, that's enough. Shut up.
Wow.
Welcome to our podcast. We're gonna have a blast. Caitlin, Jake, Chris, and Ames. We are your hosts today. Doctor commands the bridge, but his fanties are cringe. Then Paris buys a ship and a toxic relationship. Doctor is dreaming, Tom Paris creaming. It's all very codependent. Ba 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 ba. It's codependent.
Oh, I've been neck pinched.
This has been the shortest episode of A Star to Steer Her By ever because we're stopping there. Because I don't know how the fuck we top that.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better than that.
Yeah, that's it. Turn it off.
Well, anyway.
Let's just jump to the blogtivity. What was it again?
Dreams.
Anywho. Yeah, so as you may have figured out by that intro, this is Star Steered By. Actually, that wasn't even mentioned in the intro, so I guess you wouldn't have. But anyway, my name is Jake, and I'm joined today by...
Chris?
Ames.
And Caitlin.
And today we're going to be talking about 2 episodes of Star Trek Voyager. That, of course, is going to be Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy.
That's 4 episodes.
That's true. And Alice.
Ugh.
So, just to start us off here, in Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy, the Doctor is giving a lovely performance in the mess hall, and everyone is enamored of it until, so much, in fact, that Tuvok becomes emotional, starts crying, and then is in the horniness gets to him from watching the Doctor, and he just spontaneously farrs right there in the mess hall, and its mess hall is aptly named.
Oh.
But then it turns out that this whole thing was just the Doctor's daydreaming, and he's actually just hanging out in sickbay, and that's the deal. He's got he's added to himself a daydreaming program. Yeah, and he just occasionally wanders off into these little flights of fantasy. Flights of fantasy or flights of fancy?
I haven't heard fancy.
Yeah, flights of fancy. We'll go with that.
Fancy flights.
Meanwhile, the Voyager is being covertly surveilled by these walking, talking turd men.
Oh, wow. Why were they designed like that?
Well, they were ripping off Doctor Who, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Were they actually?
Well, they
Not that I know
I'm
of.
sure not
they
intentionally.
look like those things from Doctor Who.
They do, yes.
Those
I
those
hated
potato
them.
The
guys.
shit men, yeah. I remember.
Too much like the Packlids.
I kind of thought that
but
too.
more competent, like bureaucratic, as opposed to just dumb.
Yeah.
And
Well-
more, I thought, adorable.
Yeah, they were.
I kind of loved them a little
Oh
bit.
boy, I have
But
things
anywho,
to say about
anyway,
them later.
we'll get to all your things.
So
But
many
first, when we
things.
finish the intro,
Yeah.
so anyway, it turns out that these guys are up to no good. What they do is they spy on passing ships, and if the ships have things that they want and that they can extort stuff from them, they will, basically they're pirates. That's it.
Yar.
And so they
Gosh,
spy the
God.
Voyager, and they're like, that's a pretty tempting target, but, like, it's not an acceptable risk. But then the bureaucrat guy that kind of does the spying is somehow he taps into using some kind of thingamabob into the Voyager's computer and manages to get a feed from the Doctor. But, of course, he doesn't get the Doctor's actual feed. He gets the Doctor's dreams, his daydreams. So he's watching the Doctor, and the Doctor, of course, is imagining himself as a total fucking badass. He's the emergency command hologram where he can, like, take command of the ship and sprout pips out of his collar. Everybody loves him. He's
The women are all
the women
dropping their panties.
Yeah.
for
Men
him.
want to be him, and women want to be with him.
pretty much. So it's like the Doctor's like most ridiculous fantasies, but this guy thinks that they're real and that they're actually happening. And then the Doctor imagines that he destroys a Borg sphere with his photonic cannon that he invented. The aliens are like, okay, yeah, we'll go try to extort these guys. Then eventually the turd man realizes that, oh shit.
Oh, me.
I am the turd man. I am the walrus. Poop, 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 poop. You got it. You nailed it.
So anywho, he realizes that he's watching the dream, so he downloads himself into one of the Doctor's dreams so that he can warn the Doctor, like, listen, we're going to attack you, and
I'm going to get in trouble.
I'm going to get in trouble once they realize that none of the shit that I said was true because it all is based off of your bullshit dreams. So can you just, like, play along? Like, I'll tell you how to beat us, but, like, just kind of play along with the game. So that's what they do. Janeway agrees to let the Doctor pretend to be the captain so that when the aliens attack, he can confront them. And, of course, at first he's very nervous about it because he's way in over his head. And Janeway's like talking in his ear, telling him what to say. But of course he doesn't listen. And then finds his groove and pulls a Corbomite maneuver and tells the aliens that he's going to fire up the old photonic cannon. And that scares them enough into retreating. And they do, and they retreat.
Yeah.
And that's and then basically everyone's like, you know what? Even though we saw your deepest, darkest fantasies and how much of a fucking creep you actually are, we still like you, Doc, because everybody has creepy fantasies sometimes.
Geordi.
Barkley.
Yep.
So everyone has creepy.
Kirk.
Everyone has creepy fantasies sometimes. They just normally don't, have them violated by their crewmates for no reason.
Yeah. Well, there was a reason.
He did piss poor reason.
I mean, B'Elanna makes an excuse for it.
Yeah, like that's. I was thinking about this in comparison because it's kind of inevitable.
Do it.
Like the reason this is different from the Barkley thing is Barkley was making holodeck programs.
Yeah,
and that's weird and wrong. Doc was having daydreams, which are weird and creepy, but daydreams, and they decide we're gonna go watch them. Like, no, that's not okay. And like the flimsy excuse was, oh, this one comes up a lot, so it'll be easier to isolate. It's like, no, this is just wrong. I hate it.
Yeah, it was a thin excuse to basically have Seven watch herself being painted in the nude so that people could see how awkward it is and Chris can cringe.
Oh, so much.
But Harry had a fucking huge, huge erection
Harry.
for that.
Harry's face in that, like, Garrett Wang, to his credit, really just had this face on of just like, oh god, this is weird. Seven seemed completely unflustered.
Of course she was.
Now here's the thing about that scene. So when we see the other drawings, Seven's naked, but she has no nipples.
She has no. He's only worked on the face. The body is just
and
a big
hands.
outline.
The hands too.
And, oh, well,
they made a comment
yes,
about the hands.
he's quite good at the hands.
Yes.
I'm wondering if, so obviously in the holodeck there was, because there's projecting the fantasy, we could see that there was a naked Seven there. Now,
do you think she was just a Barbie doll?
Yeah, was she a Barbie doll? Like maybe
not based on Harry's face.
Like, does the Doctor just like censor automatically?
Maybe the holodeck does.
Maybe it just puts black bars on everything.
The holodeck absolutely does not censor everything.
No. And also, EMH has seen it all because he did build most of her body for her.
That's what I said. He's their physician, so Harry's there going like, well, it's different than how I pictured them, but he'd know. I did like, though, that the part he likes more than anything is Pip spontaneously appearing on a collar.
He's a big nerd.
He just really wants a promotion.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry does.
Yeah, because he says, this is the part I like. And it's right before he switches over and the Pips appear.
Yeah, which I find that scene very funny.
That seems
like
cute.
That a lot.
I also think this makes Robert Picardo the only major Trek actor we see in all 3 department uniforms.
That's true. Yeah, I did read that. If there are others, they didn't name them on Memory Alpha, but they used one of the people who worn all 3 uniforms. I'm like, but who else?
Because I can think, like, we've seen Picard in red and blue. We've seen Riker in red and
yellow.
Thomas Riker's in yellow when they first rescue him.
Data wears red once.
That's right, he does. I forgot about
Geordi started in red and changed to yellow, as did Worf.
Yeah. Sulu, I think, was in blue.
That's
once.
true. Yeah, I think
and
in
then
the first
yellow
episodes.
and then red because he went to.
Oh shit! You're right. Because in the Mirror Universe, he wears red.
Oh well, I was thinking about when he's captaining.
Well, but that's a different uniform, though. Those ones don't have the departmental colors. But you're right. Because of the Mirror Universe, George Takei we also see in all 3.
There you go.
Good for him.
Well, you get good company to be listed up something like that only George Takei has also done. Those were words that didn't make sense.
Hey, we get you on for that.
Wow, do you? That's good.
But yeah, I think
I spaced out.
Wow! All I was saying that you were in good company to also be one of the only people, and that the other person is George Takei.
Oh, and Bev,
Did
we
you
also
listen that time, Ames? Ames is like, who are you?
We also see Bev in red, I think, in All Good Things, Captain Bev Picard in the future there.
Well.
Yeah,
Anyway.
riveting uniform discussion.
Yeah, as we often have.
I bring the best stuff to the table.
Coffee. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, our funny little alien friends. Unless, wait,
no,
you first.
Okay, damn it.
Why, what?
We're going backwards. I want to go back because, it's forgivable for the Doctor to have daydreams.
Yes.
Is it? Because I remember a couple of weeks ago in Latent Image, he was basically admitting, like, we should never expand my programming ever again because bad things happen and I can hurt people and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly, without telling anyone, Doctor, he decides to expand his programming and I'm here flipping all the tables in the house.
I mean, here's the thing. It's okay for him to have daydreams. But yes, he should have gotten help with this. Because, like, I said that. It's like, asshole. Did you not learn from the time you Dr. Jekyll'd yourself?
Right.
If you want to expand your program, that is fine and admirable. But for the love of God, get an engineer in the room with you. Just because you are a computer doesn't mean you're a programmer.
Don't you feel like B'Elanna would just be really judgmental if you told her you wanted to?
Go to someone that's not her. Go to Harry. Go to Vorik. Go to Kelly.
Don't go to
Kester.
Vorik.
What's his name?
Kerry. Don't go to Vorik.
Don't go to Vorik. Don't go to Tom.
Yeah, if you go to Vorik, then it will all be fucking B'Elanna
Cringe.
sex.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Like, sure, we all do sex fantasy stuff. We all think things every so often. And if someone were to spy on you, you'd be like, that's a little uncalled for. The fact that he has sex fantasies about every single female crewman just speaks to me of the writers being fucking horn dogs.
Oh, yeah, no, like, I blame that entirely on the writers. It feels very wrong for the Doctor.
Oh, wait. Because Minosky, because of course this is a Minosky, who loved writing this episode, because it was just, he called it 5 days of script writing paradise. And he goes to Picardo. Picardo just seems like such a fucking skis sometimes, and I judge him a bit for it, but I still love him. So Minosky goes to Picardo and says, What do you think the Doctor's fantasies might be? And Picardo is the one that introduced the Drawing 7 scene, and I'm unhappy with him about it.
So here's the thing. Like, I'm unhappy with that scene, don't get me wrong. If his fantasies mostly revolved around her sexually, if he has to have sexual fantasies, which he doesn't have to, but we know these fucking producers. It would make sense for 7 because he's already shown he's kind of was developing feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
Janeway and Torres make no sense.
They make no sense.
He doesn't have any...
It just makes him seem like he will have any woman who will give him the time of day.
I guess I read it more like it speaks to his prowess as a man, right? That, like, it's not necessarily that he wants to bang Janeway and Torres in 7. It's that he wants them to want him.
Yeah, he actually turns B'Elanna down.
Then Tom waves at her awkwardly.
I love that.
That little goofy Tom
That
Paris
was
wave.
the best McNeil moment I've seen.
That's like the best 2-second cutaway.
So I
Yes,
think,
that was excellent.
It's less about... Because he really... Like, this... I would say that the fantasy's really only overtly sexual with the Drawing 7 scene.
Yeah.
Whereas
he
the other...
rubs Janeway's bottom.
She grabs his hand and puts it there.
That was deeply upsetting.
Yes, it was.
Whereas, like the other scenes, I think
Torres does a foot lap.
That's true.
Foot lap, damn it.
But I think they're more about him being the object of other people's desires, which is something that would make him feel good.
Why not Neelix?
Well, his singing was so good that it gave Tuvok a Ponfar, so he's clearly, like, open to all comers.
Yeah, because, like, really, like, if you look at the themes, even in the non-sexual ones, the theme is always, look at how awesome the Doctor is.
Yeah.
He's so amazing. He's the best singer. He's the best artist. He's a sex machine.
Doctor...
He's a brilliant inventor.
The Doctor
Tactician.
is writing really bad self-insert fanfic.
He's making himself a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
And, like... And I think that it works.
I just could have done with less women clawing
Yeah,
at
I just
you.
find it disgusting. Not necessarily because those instances do show the Doctor needs attention all the time kind of thing, but mostly because I'm disappointed in the writers that they had to make all the women the sex objects now.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
but if Jake's theory is true, it's actually the Doctor who is the sex object. And we've turned sexism over on its head.
Nope. Sadly, we haven't because we touched Janeway's bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the idea is necessarily that the Doctor wants to bang all the women. I think that he wants all the women to want to bang him.
Yeah, it's still, like, it would have been better, like, have just B'Elanna being very impressed by the photonic cannon. Instead of his
she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Knew
get
it.
it. I get it. Good
Uh,
job.
I mean, I guess he is made of photons.
True.
So when he...
Weird. Anyway, what were we just talking about?
I don't know. I want Jake to sing more songs.
Cringiness of the fantasies.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
cringy.
I think that's why, because I knew this was going to be a fun episode. There are some good, fun moments
There
that
are.
I really like. There's a lot. I wrote down one really good line. Where did I put it? Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, over my dead program.
Yeah.
Great fucking line. Good, fun stuff. It's fun, but also the cringiness that refused to let me have fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to have that
More
kind
fun
of
than I had.
Yeah.
I will say, though, and unless they establish otherwise, hologram Janeway exists specifically because of him
Hologram Janeway.
in Prodigy.
Aha!
This is an extension of them working
that's
on
funny.
an ECH, an
Okay,
actual
that's funny.
one.
If she just built it, she said, okay, we'll build you an ECH, but it's just going to be me. That I'll allow.
So while most of the women in the episode...
The women. We haven't had the women
Yeah,
in
it's
a
been a
Well,
while.
most of the women in the episode kind of became sex objects for those scenes. I feel like the one woman in the cast who was having the best time was Majel.
Yeah!
That was amazing.
Because, yeah, when the warp core breach happens and,
Time
last
to be a
chance to
hero.
be a hero.
Time
Get going.
Time remaining, not nearly enough.
Oh,
It
Majel,
was
what
good.
a treasure.
I know, she was excellent. This is why I still want her to be the voice, even if they have to pull a Princess Leia in whatever the last freaking movie was, where they just kludge in all lines they already have.
Yeah, because haven't they formally hired a new...
I believe they have, because I think I made a comment before saying like, why isn't it Majel?
Yeah, I think I heard
Fuck.
that they have...
I thought they made the library of her voice sounds for this
Supposedly.
reason.
Probably the technology's not quite there, though.
Yeah. Maybe
That
if they
never
were-
stopped them before!
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
eventually they'll have, like with what they're doing with AI art and things like that, I'm sure it won't be long before
Yeah.
they'll be, like, AI able to reproduce any voice.
Yeah, we're never going to see
Cool.
real actors in our
I
lifetime.
mean, there's so much. There's
At
so
some point.
considering the almost 300 episodes of our show. There's got to be enough data there to train an AI model to replicate any of our
I don't know.
voices.
It would be impossible to get the wide variety of Chris laughs.
It would be really fun, though, to, like, load all of our episodes into an AI and see if it could make an episode of this show.
it would just delete itself.
Yeah, it would be just
Too many poop jokes.
people talking over each other the entire episode long.
I don't know much about how AI model training works, but I do. Yeah, I imagine it involves like just giving it a bunch of training data. So if we had transcripts of our episodes,
Nope.
See, that's why his daydreams are so horny. Because it's an AI trained thing. It went to the internet, and even in the 24th century, the internet's all porn.
Especially in the 24th century.
Oh God, I was it this one? There was one point where Jerry Ryan did an amazing smug smirk, but I forget what it was.
She's so good at this.
She is. She was the least embarrassed of anyone, ironically, by the whole disaster.
That's because everything is just logical to her.
Yeah.
Even Tuvok, I think, was more not at ease with all of this. Before we move on and talk about the hierarchy, because fuck that, one last note I wanted to bring up, and that was that this episode was originally conceived as a Neelix episode called The Secret Life of Neelix, and it would have just been aliens doing a altered perception kind of a thing, in which he's the one who's getting these kind of daydreams, but it's alien derived.
I wonder if that line he says about where the Talaxians believe dreams come from
Oh,
is a
yeah.
remnant of that.
The dream dreams the dreamer. That was a nice line.
Yeah. Sort of I mean, it's obviously a reference to The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and that's a very similar, this just very, like, it's more, even more so than the Doctor, because it's like just this ordinary, dull office worker guy who goes into these crazy fantasies. I want to say it's either a short story or novella. It's not terribly long. I read it high school, I think. I imagine that was probably the intention there. But yeah, I could see him having weird little,
Why do you want me to stroke your or tug your whiskers? Well,
I forgot about that.
oh, if only I could.
But yes, the hierarchy, who look an awful lot like Doctor Who's Santarans.
And even more like poops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially the slightly taller variant. Because they often have these very dome-shaped heads, but a couple times, like during the 6th Doctor and the Jodie Whittaker Doctor, because the numbering has stopped making sense.
Infinity Doctor.
They wind up with sort of narrower, slightly taller heads that look a little more like these guys, but there's sort of a cute pudginess to these guys the Santarans never have.
That's true.
I need to make a stupid joke, and that's that the female Doctor only gets to be 0.7% of the other Doctors.
She did get fewer episodes than her predecessors.
But she did get 3 years, which is the standard.
Yes, it is.
Actually.
But yeah, I did look to see if, anyone had referenced, and aside from people online being like, kind of look like Santarans. As far as I can tell, there was no intentional reference like the time they hid the names of previous Doctors Who in an episode of TNG.
Well, I mean, so the thing is, if I recall my Santarans from Doctor Who, it has been a while since I've seen it, but I recall that they're like a race of soldiers kind of people.
They're a race of soldiers.
Race.
They're all clones too. Like, they have a few different batches to justify why there's so many different actors, but yeah, they usually have the same 2 or 3 if you see a face, because they also have these big goofy helmets. But, they try to keep it limited to the number of actors. But yeah, they're a clone race of soldiers that wear sort of big black armor that is visually similar to, but different from these hierarchy outfits, which are a little more like, they're not armor, they're kind of suits, but...
Yeah, what I think I find interesting about the hierarchy here is that, they are militant in the sense that, they're going out and attacking other ships, but they pick and choose which ships they attack to only attack those that they know that they can actually
or that their computer? Who the fuck were they getting orders from?
I think
tells them about.
I think it's some sort of, bureaucracy.
Landrew?
Was everyone just voting?
I imagine, either it's I like kind of that we don't know what it is, that it's just sort of, this unseen...
The hierarchy
that dictates what they do.
See, it didn't even occur to me it might be a supercomputer. Because I don't... So the thing is, I maybe have been slightly almost because I've been playing a lot of The Outer Worlds lately, which is a sci-fi dystopian game where, everything is owned and run by corporations and all. And there's the board that they keep referring to that runs everything.
How can you even call that science fiction? That's just...
Well, but so, of course, because that's kind of where my mind has been, my thought was just, they're sending messages to a bunch of guys around a table somewhere. It's like, oh, ship 3 said this. They go, yeah. But yeah, I suppose it could very well be a computer in Star Trek mold.
I assumed computer right away because no bureaucracy would give you an answer that quickly.
That's true.
Good point.
Yeah, there's a great description in the script. The first description of the hierarchy when we see them in the script is, these are high-tech spies, but nobody here is James Bond. They're more like office workers, cogs in a vast alien bureaucracy that we'll come to know as the hierarchy.
I mean, the thing is, that's actually closer to real-life spying than James Bond. A lot of real-life spying is people in offices doing as much as they can remotely via wiretaps and information drops and turncoats.
Informants.
That's actually one of the more realistic views of espionage.
And sometimes they just launch balloons.
Yes, topical when this is being recorded.
No, but no longer topical.
But yeah, they're kind of it feels like if the Ferengi and the Vulcans got together and decided to be pirates. Because it's
there's a lot of pirates this episode.
We want your stuff, but we want to get injured as little as possible. Let's be logical about this.
Yeah, it's like... We've been watching a lot of Deal or No Deal lately, and it's when they come up with the offer, it's the offer that's going to make the most sense for your situation on the board. Do you take it or not take it? And the answer is usually fucking take it.
Yeah, 9 times
idiots,
out of 10.
Idiots.
Yeah, morons. But yeah, they're an interesting little thing. Do we ever see them again? I don't think we do.
I know that they're at least referenced again, but not as the hierarchy. I think in the future they're called observers or some shit.
Okay.
I think we do see them.
Okay. Well, I hate them.
because I don't think of them as the hierarchy. I think of the hierarchy as being whoever's giving them
their
the answers.
bosses.
Well, yeah, just for lack of anything else to call them.
Yeah, we don't get other
Yeah, but I mean,
names for them.
imagine it's maybe they're not a monoculture either. Maybe it's just that these guys, this
Is the piracy wing?
or they just work for the hierarchy, which is a corporation, and
Yeah.
like, maybe there's other people who do other things. Like we always, because Star Trek has taught us this, we always assume that when we see one group of aliens doing a thing, that all of those aliens do that same thing,
Right.
like the Klingons and the Romulans.
Orions are all pirates.
Mm-hmm. Except Voyager has already kind of turned that on its ear a little bit with the Vidians.
Yeah.
And that we found out that,
And the Voth.
There's Vidians that go out and
commit horrible medical atrocities.
Yeah, and then there's other ones that are like, no, we're just like doctors and we want to treat our people.
Yeah. Or even their attempts a few weeks ago to make the Malon feel a little more...
with our Malon friend, Fenim. Not Fenim.
Three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Fezzik? I think it was Fezzik.
Fezzik sounds like a thing we've heard recently.
Fezzik sounds like a Muppet.
That's true too.
But yeah, we meet our kind of like lowly intern kind of guy, Phlox. I forget if he's even named in the episode, but it's not even important
His
because
name's Flock?
his name is Phlox.
Isn't that a character in Enterprise?
It
Yeah,
is.
it's their medical officer.
Is
It's
it
very
spelled the
annoying.
same
It's
way?
spelled the same way.
Wow.
It's very
Yeah.
strange.
Not very creative, these Star Trek.
They're
designs.
really
Sometimes,
not.
no.
I guess they're like, well, we never said it out loud in the episode, and nerds won't know. Nerds notice.
The
guys.
nerds know.
Nerds always know.
I mean, we could just say it's the same guy and he's fallen on hard times after a few hundred years.
Here's the thing. There's only so many sounds you can make with humanoid mouths, so...
Wow, this guy.
More slurping sounds, please.
Oh, God, no.
Chewing noises
And like
for Chris for later.
Fox is a great name for an alien. So
It is.
I can't blame them for reusing it.
And here's the thing. I think this episode does something not terribly well. Not terribly successfully. In that, by the end, we're supposed to seem to sympathize with Phlox, because he's like, oh, but Doctor, I want to save you because this was my fault, and I don't want to lose face with the hierarchy. And we're kind of meant to think like, oh yeah, this guy, he's being so nice. We should definitely like be friends with him because he's the good one. He's not the good one. He was the one who got us to want to attack Voyager.
Yeah, but I liked him immediately. Literally 2 seconds in, I was like, oh, I like this one.
The thing is, like...
Because he's like, oh yeah, bitch, too bad I already asked the fucking hierarchy, and they're on board, so...
Like, it's interesting, because you're right. Like,
Insert snap.
none of them are good, but they just make you dislike his boss so quickly that you're just like... I mean, of all the bad guys, you're the one I sympathize with, because I've had shitty bosses, too.
Plus, I like his spunk. His chutzpah.
His spunk is let's attack other people and kill them.
Well, yeah, but that's like his
Oh,
job.
no, see, that's the thing. I don't think they do.
They
kill
try
him.
to avoid it, sounds like.
They go through, because it sounds like their normal MO is to only pick on ships that they're, have superiority to.
Oh, because they want to take the stuff without a fight.
Yeah,
They want to basically just be like, give us
fire
your
a
shit.
warning shot and basically say, give us your shit or we'll fuck you up.
Not saying that makes them good people.
No.
No, and just hang out cloaked otherwise where no one's
it's
going to
kind
find
of like, I know that we used the Corbomite maneuver in this episode, and it's a little bit like Baylock in the puppet, right? Like, they don't have a puppet, but their bark is worse than their bite.
Yeah, they're just professional extortionists.
Yeah.
Just like the group of really smart guys that make problems.
Think tank.
Think tank.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
I don't know. I think I brought up the Voth a second ago, and I think the Voth is more successful at making you want to sympathize with that race.
Oh, yeah.
Because Gegan, Farr from that episode, name is gone. Distant origin. Jesus. Bringing out too many vocab terms from months ago.
It never ceases to amaze me how many of these titles you remember.
I have most of them on Star Trek timelines, which really helps. But, he is a character who's also kind of subjugated, who wants to, stand up to his boss, who's a meanie. And we see through connecting with him, as Chakotay does in that episode, that it's worth talking with this guy. This guy is just a fucking douchebag who comes into the Doctor's dreams, fucks up the Doctor's dreams a whole lot, and ruins everything.
Yeah, I mean, again...
Wait, so is it his fault that the dreams get fucked up?
Yeah, they mentioned that.
I missed that.
Possibly, well, they don't say for sure. It was because he was tapping into the Doctor's program, caused it to go haywire.
I totally missed that. Thank you.
I mean, hey, whatever the Doctor needs to tell himself.
I like him
he's a
less
bad
now.
programmer.
Yeah. I can't believe you put all that weird sex stuff that my friend saw. That's so fucked up.
That was his one. That was what we didn't see. He was like, all right, I'll go along with your plan, but can you tell my friends that I wasn't really,
But yeah, obviously, just for the sake of the story, they needed one that we had to,
not hate.
side with. And yeah, I think they did a decent job enough of just we've all been
Disagree.
Well,
Hard disagree.
so one thing I kind of think about...
He should have been fired.
Because we're, like, introduced to the hierarchy, which sounds like a faceless bureaucracy, it made me think a lot about the film Brazil. And you have, like, Tuttle and like...
I've actually only ever seen, like, the first half.
Oh, shit.
I've never seen any of it.
It's a great film.
It's on the very long list of things I really must get to one of these days.
Is that a Chris Nolan film?
No,
God, no. Terry Gilliam.
Is Daniel Craig in it?
Nope. This is from, like, the 80s.
Yeah, this is an old film.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Couldn't tell you.
Anyway, go on.
Brazil.
Sorry.
Bureaucratical nightmares, like Kafka-esque stuff.
Yeah, and, like, we don't know what really is going on, but, like, you get the sense that he is kind of like this pathetic kind of man who's low on the totem pole, and like, this is an opportunity for him to prove himself and rise in the ranks. So I think you kind of get, yes, they're bad guys. No one's denying that. And he did violate the Doctor, and no one's denying that. But I think you root for him because he's sort of that everyman, and you can relate to him.
Yeah. He also didn't know he was tapping into the Doctor's daydream.
It's less about, like, thinking he's great or a good guy, and more about, like, okay, yeah, I can identify, like Caitlin said, I've had bosses like that, I'm stuck in middle management, or I'm stuck in a cubicle, and I would love to like stick it to my boss.
Stick it to the man.
I've recommended destroying the Voyager on incorrect information before.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's about relatability and less about, I think as a person, that character is something a lot of people can relate to.
You know what else is kind of funny? Because I brought out the Packlids ages ago.
Mm.
In that their design as just lumpy, shapeless things.
Mm-hmm.
Like egg creatures.
Yeah.
Makes you also, I feel like, underestimate them.
Mm.
So you're left thinking, oh yeah, this guy doesn't have power. I think he does have a lot more power than you guys seem to think.
What do you mean? What power? What do you mean?
He has the power to determine if we should, to suggest that we attack the Voyager so that he can get into people's good graces.
Yeah.
He is a fully selfish character.
Oh, I mean...
Yeah, exactly.
Again, he's from a bad ship doing bad things, but relative to his shitty boss.
But he's still, relative to a bad man, another bad man is still a bad man.
No, I know.
We're not saying he's not a bad
man.
man.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're just saying of the bad men, he's the one where, like,
he's a relatable bad man.
If one of them has to get one over on the other, I want him to get one over on his boss, not vice versa.
Well, I don't, so we'll just have to disagree on that.
Fair.
You're not going to win me over to some asshole's side because there are other.
We're not trying to win you over. You're trying to win us over.
Also true.
One scene that I actually really liked, and I kind of hope, I said this to Ames when we were watching it.
Oh God.
The scene when they're in sickbay and the Doctor has gone, like,
just totally lost in his...
Totally lost it, and, like, we can see...
Felix, you got me a cake!
Yeah, like, all the little scenes that we only see his half of. I was just saying to Ames when we were watching, I was like, I hope they just let Rob Ricardo vamp in this, like, and do the cake thing, just because it's I don't know, it was...
I would rather see Neelix giving him a cake than B'Elanna trying to give him a foot job.
True.
She wasn't giving him a foot job. She was,
like,
playing a footsie.
But,
she was just doing a footsie.
Janeway gave him cake.
Oh.
Son of a bitch. Good one, buddy.
It makes me really glad for one of few times that Kes is gone.
Oh, God,
Because normally I'd be like, I miss Kes. Kes should not have been in this episode.
No, thank God she wasn't.
Now, I know last week Jake wanted to make sure to get your take on the intro.
Oh, yeah.
As Jake, how did you put it?
I think it's amazing.
You think it's the best intro in all of Star Trek?
Yes. Well, I don't know about that, but it's very good.
See, the thing is, I've seen this scene before, and I was like, I don't know. It's like, it's I'm not sure if it's too goofy even for me.
See, what I love about it is that
is shocking.
It starts out, and it doesn't, like, immediately tip its hand, and you're just like, okay, because we know the Doctor sings.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and like, it's Star Trek, and for whatever fucking reason, Star Trek has just decided that we're just going to always have music concerts happening on this military ship.
Yeah. Well, they even point that out in the Honest trailer they did for the 30th anniversary of TNG. So many concerts.
Yeah, there's always a concert going on, or a play or something. It's like fucking high school, you know?
It really is.
And so
Everyone's
like
fucking.
and everybody's always at all of the recitals and stuff. So it's like, okay, we're just having another episode that opens with a fucking recital and it's the doctor. And then like it takes a little bit to kind of build to that point where like, okay, that's kind of a weird look that Seven is giving him or whatever. And then it builds up to the Tuvok thing, and even then you're still not quite sure that.
Yeah, we've seen Vulcan brains break.
oh,
Maybe this week's a Vulcan brain break episode.
This is going to be Tuvok's Pon farr episode, because, we haven't had one. And
right, and we're probably due for one in 7 years.
Right? So, like, okay, now I know what this episode is going to be. It's going to be fucking Pon farr shit. We had Vork, now we got Tuvok, god damn it. And then the song happens, and you're like, what
the fuck?
What's going on? Why? What? Okay, this is a little silly, and like I don't know. I love that they set it up in a way that it's like, okay, this is totally how they would open the episode that involved Tuvok's Pon farr, and then flip it on its ear, and then the reveal that it was a daydream, and I love what they did. I think it was really nice.
Oh, what did you think? It was new to you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Caitlin specifically.
I thought it was funny. I was like, well, you watched me watch. I was like, oh, okay, we're just doing, and then, like, okay, we're doing opera. Oh, okay, Tuvok's crying. Well, I guess maybe Vulcans really like opera. Then I was like, wait a second, now he's mad? I was like, okay, this isn't really happening, is it? And Chris was like, no, it isn't.
Well,
and I was like,
We saw almost the exact same scene with Sarek.
Oh, that's
in
true.
Sarek.
Yeah, but he was sick.
I know, but we saw the scene of him at the concert crying.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
Which is like it's like a direct parallel.
That's true. I hadn't thought of it, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I was like,
look, however old he is, he's not old enough for Bendy syndrome or whatever.
You know that. Have you guys ever seen? There's that GIF or or whatever of that really curly-haired English guy who is reacting in the crowd. And first his mouth is open, and then his mouth really drops open. Like, that's how I felt listening to the lyrics of the song, because I was like, oh, Pon farr. Oh, he's actually saying you haven't gotten any. Oh my. And I don't know. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a ride. I enjoyed it.
It has been declared a ride.
Wow.
Speaking of rides.
Anything else on this episode before we jump?
I'm not daydream believing with y'all.
What?
So many song references.
So many
apparently.
songs. No, I didn't. Too much.
You didn't like it.
Too much goofy for me.
I enjoyed this one.
And also, just in terms of the doctor, like, requesting a promotion for stuff he thinks the crew has done to him because he thinks people are rude to him, when he's the rudest character on the show.
I think Tom even says that. Like, he brings it on himself, when they're talking about that.
I think he was mostly complaining about Tom in that.
Yeah, probably.
Him and Tom are,
Well, he doesn't have a ton of respect for Tom, given the fantasy scene with B'Elanna.
Why isn't that a fucking reaction?
I know.
Is it just too short? If I knew how to make them, I'd totally snag that.
Do it. Find out how. I don't know. I thought EMH was being a little bitch for most of the episode.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Janeway should have caved so easily and let him control the bridge. I don't know. I was never on board for most of this episode, and every so often something would tickle my fancy, like, cute little lines or something.
Tickle your fantasy.
Yikes. Make me daydream. Did I have any other actual notes?
Usually Ames cards have words, but this time it's just, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this.
It's not, no. It's mostly actual notes, and then over here in giant letters, too goofy.
Oh yeah, look at that. We need a picture of that for the Facebook page. Yeah, I kind of thought I was wondering how you would like it, and I thought,
no.
Probably not much.
Well, especially if you're not on side with Phlox, then the whole episode falls apart.
Yeah, and I'm not on side with him. I think that EMH is just being a brat most of the time. I actually also got a little bit offended when everyone's going down for an away mission. EMH doesn't get to go, and he's having a sulk about it. B'Elanna offers to go take some photos for him, and he says, no, with the context being of you're not good enough to photograph anything for me. And then later, Neelix is going down an away mission. He asks Neelix to take photos for him, and I feel offended on B'Elanna's behalf.
No, I don't think it. I think you're reading that wrong. I don't think it was no, you're not good enough to take photos for me. It was no. You took me off of this mission. And now you're like,
don't try to assuage me.
Yeah, you're gonna take pity on me by
taking photos.
Pity photos? No, fuck off.
It's Tora's trying to be nice for fucking once, and this is why she's usually so bratty.
Well, right. Well, I think she was trying to be nice, but the doctor was not in a mood to be
coddled.
To have
that's
someone
fair.
being nice to him.
But also,
you can't be like, by the way, I've canceled your trip to Disney World, but if you'd like, I'll get you some ears while I'm there.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, though,
Take your ears and shove them up your ass, B'Elanna.
At the end of the day, who's probably going to take a better picture?
Neelix or B'Elanna?
Yeah.
No.
I'm going with Neelix. Also, can Talaxian see ultraviolet?
Ooh.
Like, obviously the doctor can see whatever the fuck he wants. But he does mention if you're feeling creative, throw in some ultraviolet. So I wondered, can he see a wider spectrum of colors?
Well,
does that explain his bonkers outfits?
Yes, he's a mantis shrimp.
Well, that's true. But also, like, ultraviolet photography is a thing.
Oh, is it?
Like, people do it. You can. Most cameras have an ultraviolet filter, or it's really an infrared filter. You can't more infrared than ultraviolet, but they have an infrared filter in front of the film.
Sure.
Because a lot of film stock is sensitive to infrared.
That makes sense.
So what people will do is like remove that filter and take some really cool photos in infrared.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
something like this, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So I'm assuming ultraviolet's kind of the same idea.
This is what Neelix sees.
Of course, I think...
That's fucking sick.
Future me or future aims, remember to find a link for Facebook.
Oh, God.
I also think that... ultraviolet I don't think is done much because like we have UV cameras all over the place and it's just like night vision cameras are just ultraviolet. Anyway.
Yes, it's time to feed Tom's head.
Feed your head.
How many more can we get in?
One ship makes you horny. One ship makes you dead. But the one that B'Elanna gives you will beat you in the head. Anyway. Alright, so next up is Alice. And in this episode, we meet a almost too friendly junk dealer named Abaddon.
I loved him.
Oh, I liked him too. He was like if there were Ferengi in the Delta Quadrant.
Was this the same?
But like actually charming.
Was he the same actor that played the fucking head of the Tal Shiar?
He is a Romulan at one point.
Yeah, we see him in a bunch
Section
of
31 episode.
Who's got Tubman syndrome?
I don't remember if he's that guy.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
he is that guy. He's also, I wrote it on the card, but you have the card. Let me see if I can remember. Ornithar, who who Quark did business with, who I remember us liking.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he was...
Because he was also a smarmy salesman.
Yeah, he was the guy... Yeah, he was the Tullaberry wine people. No. Maybe.
No, he's...
Not the people with the painted faces.
Oh, but
the people with the weird head.
Yeah, with the weird...
He's also a recurring
Suliban
in Enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Suliban.
Alien lizard men.
They're made of phloem.
Anyway, we haven't gotten to them
yet.
Anyway,
so this episode.
So anyway, so this is an actor we've seen before. He's very good.
We'll see him again.
And
he'll look great.
Basically, he's like... Remind me a little bit of the character, the AI character from Arsenal of Freedom, where he's like a salesman.
Oh, neat.
And he's trying to sell them junk, basically. And he's got a lot of good stuff, so they buy a bunch of stuff, and they're mostly just trading stuff, parts on Voyager for it. But Tom spies among the junk a little shuttle.
Of course.
And of course he's like, boing, yoing, 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 yoing. I gotta get me some of that. So he convinces Chakotay to buy him the shuttle. Dad, come on, it's low mileage.
Can we get ice cream on the way home?
This is like Brat week, huh?
It's so Brat week. They're so bratty this week.
Chakotay,
there's the title.
Especially me.
Especially you.
Chakotay agrees to buy the shuttle just to get him off his back. and tells Tom, like, okay, but you're going to fix it up and you got to feed it every day. So Tom, like, it's like another fucking Tom has a fucking project episode, and he does a goddamn another montage, fixing up the ship montage, and complete with montage music.
What I like about it is that B'Elanna knows that they're in a Tom Has Another Thing episode.
Yeah.
She's like, every fucking time.
Also, I wish that had been the music under the montage.
You can recut it.
So anywho...
when you're making that gif from last episode.
He gets the ship almost ready to go, and then it turns out that the ship is a beautiful lady. What?
Oh.
Yeah, no. The reason he's been so obsessed with the ship is because it's, like, drilled into his brain, and it's appearing to him physically as a... Well, he steals the actual ship, but it also... He sees, like, an avatar of the ship that is a woman. And... It is strongly implied that he's been fucking that thing in the shuttle bay the whole time.
Yikes.
Yeah. And, like, you know, it's weird. It puts a strain on his relationship with B'Elanna, because she's like, you know, I want to, like, fly around in your little ship with you. And he's like, yeah, but I could just do it by myself. And, you know, I know how to do it better. And, like, I know my way around. And, like, with you, it's always kind of fumbly. And are we talking about a ship? What?
God.
So, basically, it puts a big strain on their relationship, and as time goes on, it seems that, like, Tom's not just, like, obsessed with the ship, he's, like, obsessed with the ship. And then the ship's like, well, you know, you can just leave, because, like, I got what you need, baby. You know, what has Voyager ever done for you? I got the goods. You're gonna fly me so hard. Oh. And basically it seduces Tom, brainwashes him, and then, like, uses...
What does Alice think about Torres?
Oh, Alice is not a fan of Torres. Tries to kill her, you know, like you do. Turns the air off.
A real Christine moment.
And then, yeah, when Tom kind of has doubts about him, he's like, all right, you know what? Maybe this ship thing's gone too far. She's like, you know what? Fuck you! I'm gonna fucking use negative reinforcement. The carrot didn't work? Well, here's the fucking stick. Get in the fucking sex chair. Fly me, you piece of shit. Fly me to the fucking moon. And he does, and then they leave, and he plugs in and gets all tubed up.
Yeah, that's gross. What's going on?
Yeah.
Why do you have all those weird colorful
And we
liquids?
only
Where
saw
are they
the
coming
bit from, like, the chest up. We don't know what else is
going on. Oh, yeah, there was
Damn
definitely
it.
a big dick tube. Well, I mean, not that big. It's Tom.
Yeah. Ayo.
Ayo.
So they fly away, and then the Voyager's like, shit, well, the ship just stole our pilot, so they go back to Abaddon, and they're like, Abaddon, we want our fucking
Abaddon,
money back.
What the fuck?
And he's like, well, all sales final, but whatever, fine, I'll come over and talk to you. And then it turns out that he's also got stuck in his head a version of the ship personality, who's also a massive bitch. So the doctor figures it out that it's like the ship's neural link that caused it to happen, and he fixes Abaddon, and then they manage to hack in to Tom's brain, and B'Elanna goes to try and talk some sense into him, and
Mostly nag him.
And Tom's like, man, I'm having the time of my life flying this ship. I'm having a great time. I'm getting sucked off by the ship, and then I get B'Elanna here screaming at me. Yeah, I think I will go back to Voyager. Come on, Tom. But yeah, no, it actually turns out that the ship was just trying to draw him in. It was like it's another whale, another space whale type of thing, where the ship just wants to get back to its death place and kill all humans.
Death place.
I don't know. It was trying to get him to go to some sketchy place.
Yeah, the particle fountain or whatever.
Yeah, was the particle fountain killing the ship? Why did she want to go there?
I never
Considering when she went into the fountain, she blew up.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I got very confused what her goal was.
Maybe she needed a pilot in order to fly properly into it. I don't know.
They didn't get into why.
But, like, why would she want to if that's what happens?
Maybe that's...
Well, see, at the end of the day, this episode was a very subtle, super subtle metaphor for addiction. And really, at the end of the day, addiction only leads to death.
Why would anybody do drugs?
Well, you see, Wesley. That's actually... I did not make that connection, despite it being so super subtle and everything.
Oh, yeah, no, see, for me, I was just like, My thing was I was sitting there going like, oh my god, I get it. But
Well,
I guess maybe it was just me.
I
think
actually
it was
also
just
didn't
you.
get it.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all.
Because you kind of made like a reference at the end, like, oh yeah, like this really super subtle, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, I totally read it as an addiction thing.
Oh wow,
No,
Mr.
I
Smarty
didn't-
Pantalones
I
over
didn't see
here.
any reference to it either.
See, I felt like I was getting more just like codependent relationship out of it. You know, the whole...
No, I like the addiction angle. That actually makes it more interesting.
Well, especially because like at first, it feels good at first. It's great. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually kind of fucking up my life. Maybe I should
and my relationship.
get away from it. But then it's got its hold on you. And,
Huh.
Yeah, no, to me, that's not what I thought it was definitely supposed to be.
Shrug. I like it better that way, actually. So,
Hey.
because mostly I've been just like trying to liken this episode to Vis-a-Vis. The other Tom is constantly building a car episode.
Yeah.
And in that one, he had no motivation in Vis-a-Vis. Like,
Nope.
everything that happened to him was because the episode needed it to happen.
Yep.
In this one, it was because he was having his mind fucked with.
Yeah.
And because he was being addicted to this thing. So actually, this episode more successful than Vis-a-Vis.
Glad to help.
Low bar, but
Yeah.
still.
Well, see, if anything, I think the technology of the ship is very similar to the technology in the game.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
Because it's sort of it's addictive. It makes you come, and it ties into your brain, and that seemed to be what was going on with Tom too.
I hated the crunching sound effect when Alice had her hooks in his brain and she was trying to drag him to go escape the ship.
Ugh.
It was like, oh, I can feel that and I don't like it.
Yeah, this also really made me realize, like, I think one of the problems with how this show handles Tom and B'Elanna is it has a similar problem to TNG and the O'Briens, in that the relationship is almost only ever brought up
When things are going badly.
Yeah. Like, it's that same kind of... It's not as awfully sitcom-y as TNG O'Brien's.
Or DS9 O'Brien's.
I feel like DS9 O'Brien's did their best to kind of course correct.
Not much.
No,
Not
but
enough.
They never a good couple on that show.
No, but I feel like they tried a little harder. Like, again, so much damage had already been done by TNG. But, like, it feels like a similar thing. It's like, we're mostly reminded they're together when there's an issue.
Well, there's only ever episodes when there's an issue, because otherwise you just be watching people going on with their day.
But, I mean, even just, like, it could just be a cold open kind of thing, Just them just fucking... Because every time you see them, it's an
just
issue.
fucking...
Yeah! And you're just like, what do these two have in common? Aside, maybe, from sex. Because, like, they don't seem to share any interests. Like, I don't get why they're a couple.
I mean...
It's a really small
I
crew.
was gonna say, Slim Pickens. That's what it is.
She could do better?
Could she?
I mean...
She's kind of a bitch, and she's got a bad temper.
There are
And-
people who are probably into that.
Vorik.
Nope.
Yeah, and she's not interested in
Said
that,
she
so
could do
that's...
better. But also, when he's not on the farr, like, a Klingon and a Vulcan, like, even less in common.
On the far. I don't like that.
Neither do I. Even as I said it, I was like, that was bad.
Ew.
Let's just push past that.
I don't know, though, like... She's, like, really smart. She likes logical stuff, and if she and Vorik or whatever were together, they both at least have engineering stuff they could...
Yeah, but this means they just talk about work all the time. That's not a
Maybe
relationship.
Carrie. He seemed alright.
That's interesting, because they first hated each other
Well,
because
right.
they both
Vying
wanted the
for the
same
same-
job.
That would
Yeah.
almost make sense then, that, like, they gain an admiration.
Yeah,
for
but
each
Carrie's
other.
not one
Plus,
of
they
the
could
main
have hate
characters.
fucking.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. It's funny because I always just kind of accept Tom and B'Elanna work well enough when they're together. I can kind of see, like, yes, they complement each other a little bit. He tones down her crazy. She tones up his crazy. And I don't know. Recently, when I was writing up our best and worst of season 5's blog post, check it out on our Tumblr. Holy crap. I was basically writing how when in like something like 30 days, Tom is someone who has principles.
Yeah.
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 Like Chakotay usually has principles. And when you see those principles coming out, that's when their characters are most interesting.
Mm.
And I can see someone like a B'Elanna finding that attractive.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy that.
So, well,
that
the
makes
thing,
sense.
The thing is, I think that, like, if this show had balls, they would have paired. They would have shipped Chakotay and B'Elanna and Tom and Harry.
Ooh.
But-
No show has that much balls.
But that would have made the most sense in
Yeah.
terms of, like, who would have relationships.
Oh, yeah, because they're so cute together.
Yeah.
I would love to see Harry and Tom. Tom's Dick and Harry.
Yeah.
Hey, nailed it. Chris, you look so unhappy.
No, what are you talking about? I'm grinning. That was fucking funny. No, I'm always a little torn on, like, on the one hand, more gay representation is important, but on the other hand, I also like, because I feel like just good male friendship isn't depicted enough either, you know? Like, just guys who are genuinely really good friends. And it's like, yeah, what? We're just really good friends.
Well, that's why
that?
Miles and Bashir
is so good.
But so many people ship them in a sexual way.
But they shouldn't. They should be shipping Bashir and Garrick.
Well,
oh yeah, no, they are.
That's the
O'Brien and Noah.
That's the sexual relationship. O'Brien and Bashir are platonic, close friends.
Yeah, Bashir and Garrick is like borderline canon. Like,
I don't think it would have flown in the 90s.
No,
totally.
I think today would be fine.
Well, and that's why those two guys in Discovery, whose names I can never remember, are clearly
Stamets
fucking.
And Culber.
Oh no, not them. Stamets and Culber I know about. I meant the Asian bridge guy and the black bridge guy.
Oh,
if they're not fucking.
Reese and Bryce.
You know their names. I don't know.
I don't even have them in timelines because I don't think they exist.
I sometimes remember Reese's name. Sometimes. But yeah, Alice. Also, like, and I get it. There's budget, there's reality, and whatever else. But like, they should have found money somewhere, because the whole thing is, look at how unique and beautiful this ship is. It's
hideous.
Like,
Hideous.
That looks to be one of the early TNG shuttles with some extra bobs glued on.
No, I mean, to me it looked like, because like, it had that fucking awful green color of 70s appliances.
Well, that was Tom's doing.
No, it was like that when they found it.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I think it was already
He just
green.
cleaned it up.
He washed it.
Yeah, you can only polish a turd so much.
But it just looked like another shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
Like,
It looked like a kit bash.
No, are you kidding? Look, it's
had.
so beautiful. Can't you see how beautiful it is in the lines?
I mean, the Delta Flyer looks better. Like,
if they had made it more, it's the eye of the beholder kind of thing, because his mind is being tampered with, and B'Elanna looks at it, it's like, yes, Tom, it's definitely a shiny ship.
I think that's the problem, though, is he's saying it's beautiful even before he's plugged into her.
Yeah, but could it not be already reaching out to him psychically somehow?
The
he already
song.
knew. Yeah, I think he already knew.
I wish they'd said that then or something, because it's not a pretty ship.
They were going to let you have a little bit of your own, like, discovery of the subtext, Chris. They didn't want to spell everything out.
Tom is someone who saw that junked up pickup truck and was like, oh my god, I love it!
I've heard of pickup trucks. In the 21st century, cowboys drove them a lot and wrote lots and lots of songs about them.
If only we had a whoopee cushion.
Oh my god, I was so annoyed by that line.
That was the other episode, though.
Oh, well, it was still a stupid line.
It was a very stupid line, and I groaned hard.
Chris was like, don't...
Ancient technology!
Was it this one or the last one where they were needling Tuvok about his age?
This one.
What I said was, they were like, what are you telling me? Vulcans are embarrassed about their age? It's like, no, they're not. But they know how much it pisses off humans when they don't tell them. So that's why they don't.
Yeah, actually, I thought that scene was okay.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
Little scene.
It was kind of funny. It's a little weird that Tom knows exactly how many Ponfars he's had. That's strange. Why is that?
Well, I don't know, because I don't think...
Tom's looking at the medical records that he's not supposed to look at.
I just don't think...
They need to know when he's going off.
Vulcans are such an enigma, because on one hand, they're extremely private.
Oh, yeah.
And, you don't find out about their families until literally
you meet them.
You're under the siren spell of his brother,
or until they're made up decades later for a new series.
Yeah, or that,
or they have Ponfar until they've thrown soup all over Chapel.
Right, exactly. So there's that side of things, and then there's the other side, which is the TMI side.
Yeah,
which is where I'm sure Tuvok was showing his family album, this is my son, I had him on my 4th Ponfar, and it's thanks Tuvok, that's cool.
Well, it's once the Ponfar rabbit was out of the hat in the TOS days, well, fuck it, might as well stop being private about it.
I think this is Ponfar enough.
Yeah.
Okay?
Accurate. The internet tells me that, depending on what the star date was, which I don't remember if they said or not, Tuvok would be 111 or 112.
Which isn't that what Harry guessed, 111?
It is not.
Did he say like 133?
Yeah, he was high.
Didn't
No, it
someone
was like
say...
153 or something.
Oh,
I thought he said.
And then Tom said, no, he's no more. Or one of them. I forget who was who now.
I could have swear there was an episode where Janeway wished Tuvok a happy birthday and was like, "Oh, you're getting close to triple digits,"
I
or
don't
something
remember
like
this.
that was probably before they decided he was on the Excelsior.
Maybe.
So they had to
I could have
retcon.
sworn I remember a line like that.
It's possible. She also might have just been fucking with him. Like, haha, it's 29 again, eh?
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Also,
Trying again, eh?
speaking of subtlety, I'm sitting there, Abaddon. I'm just like, isn't that a biblical demon? And yes, it is. His name literally means doom. Like, really?
Yeah, one of the books in the Expanse series is called Abaddon's Gate.
Huh.
And it's actually about this junk dealer.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Star Trek novel. You see.
Gotta say, everything really worked out for Voyager, though. They got Tom back, and they got to keep the beryllium.
Yeah.
Did they keep the beryllium?
Well, they must have, because Abaddon exploded. Oh, no, they saved him, though, didn't
Abaddon
they?
was fine.
I forgot they brought him back. Never mind.
and they cured him of Alice disease.
Yeah, I forgot.
And then they stayed him off.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
guess
sure
he got
their beryllium sphere.
Thank you. Damn it, you beat me to it. That's all I could think of when they named it.
Don't
Yeah.
get the reference.
It's
course you
it's
do.
the dilithium in Galaxy Quest, the beryllium sphere.
Oh God.
That was the whole fucking thing of the movie where they had to go to the planet and fight the Garignac and
Yeah.
Wow, I've never had to get one of those characters on Star Trek timeline. So, it's gone. It's
I
gone
straight up
forever.
forgot that was the point of the
Yeah.
movie too.
Well,
But I've
it's-
only
the
seen
point
it
of the movie
once.
was to fight Saris.
Yeah.
The point of the movie was to get Tony Shalhoub laid.
Mm.
Well, success.
But yeah, no, with the minute they call it beryllium, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake was so... I don't know what adjective to use. When Abaddon is talking to his version of Alice, and she's basically telling him how he never satisfied her.
Yeah.
And Jake was there. You said something hilarious, Jake.
I don't remember. what
You
I said.
basically said, "Oh no, he never made her come." And all
Yeah,
this thing.
basically, I mean that was the hidden thing, not even the subtext. The text was that this is a sexual.
Yeah, she says to Tom, "I knew you'd be the one. No one's gotten me this close before."
Yeah.
I noted the same thing.
And I was like, "Oh,
Like it's overtly sexual.
oh,
It's-
that's what the explosion was.
oh
no."
But ultimately, she exploded by herself, which is the best way to do it if that's how you want to get it, ladies. Just saying.
Yeah.
Get in this shuttle.
Like the whole idea was that Abaddon did not have what it takes to get Alice to where she needs to go, if you know what I mean.
The particle fountain.
Yes.
Is that...
Oh, that sounds like a
what I
terrible
call it.
euphemism, too.
I was going to say, does that mean she's a squirter?
She
Like, what's
Oh my.
but she
God.
don't want to.
Ames is like, not on my Star Trek
None
podcast.
of this content is releasable.
No.
Let's go back to my interpretation, because it's less gross.
I, mean,
I don't
the
know.
fact
We don't
that-
know how many
the
people
fact that
Paris
there was
blew to
so
get his heroin.
so much of that, the lines like that.
Yeah.
The writers knew. They
Oh,
knew.
yeah.
I just wish that, like, you know, it's a complete mind controlled ship. I just wish there was one control on the dashboard and that you had to operate to make the ship go, and you just had to like twiddle it around.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you to death.
Death by snooze now?
But the problem was, it was hidden in a little compartment, and Abaddon could never find it.
No, see, it's more appropriate if it's really obvious, but he still couldn't find it.
I'm gonna get us off this topic.
Please.
somehow.
You're getting us off?
What did you guys think of the little outfit that Alice made for Tom?
Oh, it was ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
It was
terrible.
hideous.
I thought it was
It
really
looked-
dumb.
It looked like a trash bag.
It was like Hammer Pants became a jumpsuit. And then it had so many nipples.
Oh, in the weirdest places.
Yes!
Yeah.
What do you mean it had nipples?
Well,
The
like
little-
little things for the little tubes you
Yeah.
go into.
Oh.
Yeah, there
right,
wasn't
right,
like
right.
on the upper chest area.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, then there was like some weird. There was some very weird jump cuts in this episode between scenes, and like I was unsure. Like there was a scene where Tom walks into the cargo bay, And he's like, who are you? And she's like, I'm Alice. And we don't see her at that point. And
right,
then,
yeah, it zooms in on his face, and then we go to commercial.
And we go to commercial, and then we come back to commercial, and that's not followed up on. He's just working on the ship.
Yeah, you're right.
And like, it was just a weird...
Was that the fade to black to suggest that that's the first time they bang?
I actually missed the first time we saw her as a person. And then when I looked up again later from taking a note or something, she was there. I was like, wait, she's here now? Just because I knew the synopsis of this episode. Yeah. I was like, oh, I missed her entrance. When did she first appear?
Well, no, I don't know. You may not have, because...
She was just there and not explained.
She was just, well, he...
Don't you just kind of catch her going around a corner the first time you see her?
You catch her from behind, right. And then he walks into the... the audience catches her from behind, and then he takes her from behind in the cargo bay.
That's the sound she makes.
No, he goes in the cargo bay, and then we have that awkward cut, and then it goes to the next scene, and it's like the montage scene. But then there was another bit where when he's like, yeah, nah, no thanks, lady, I got a girlfriend.
Is it when they're in the turbo lift?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's what, like... It might have been, and then it was like a jump cut to now he's in the cockpit and his jumpsuit's got the plugs on it because it didn't always have the plugs. Yeah. She's like, "Look, I upgraded your jumpsuit." I'm like, "How? You're just did he black out?"
Maybe, I mean, that's the idea. Maybe he's losing time,
him.
and like, that's why they do the weird jump cuts.
Is this some Fight Club shit?
But they didn't exactly. But they didn't.
That'd be a good episode.
They used that idea for the jumpsuit. Like, okay, Tom must have did it himself under her influence, but we didn't see that. And not remembered it? Because he blacked out. But that device isn't used elsewhere in the episode. It's not an established, like...
They should have used it more if they were going to do it.
If they were going to do that, because otherwise it's just kind of left ambiguous, and I'm not... It just, to me, feels like maybe like they cut shit out of the script for time. And
There was a lot of weird pacing. I thought the ending line being very abrupt and strange. So the ending line is B'Elanna's gotten him could go back to the ship or something, and they're, oh, that'll never happen again, honey. And she says, what about the Delta Flyer? We're just friends. End episode. And I said, that's a terrible way to end an episode. That's a bad line, delivered badly, cut horribly.
Also,
cut to the Delta Flyer, single tear.
Yeah, I was going to say crying.
And I was going to say, I mean, there's no way he didn't fuck the Delta Flyer. He absolutely did.
What the hell is this episode? I also thought, so we get a big fight scene between Torres and Paris in the hallway at some point. One of the poorest acting jobs from the both of them that I have fucking seen. I'm gonna blame the director because it just also looked wrong. Like or the editing, it could have been cut better. It just felt like the emotions were not there, and then escalated in a sentence, and then came back down. It was very strange.
Yeah. I will say though, I did like that. There's a point where he's arguing with Alice in the hallway, and there's two extras walking by, and they're both looking at Tom like, you really think maybe they would have gone to anybody and said, like, I just saw the pilot screaming at air?
You mean like how everybody does absolutely nothing to Gaius or whatever the fuck his name is in Babylon, Battlestar Galactica?
But everyone already just thinks he's a fucking weirdo, so they're just like, oh,
you telling me that anybody on board Voyager doesn't think Tom's a fucking weirdo?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how, like...
He's a obsessed with the past weirdo, not a shouts at the
But
air
here's the thing,
weirdo.
if you're a crew member on Voyager and you're expected to report every time somebody's talking to nothing...
I mean, here's the thing, it does feel like in Starfleet, even the slightest deviation from normal, just to be careful. Just scan them real quick. Just make sure. Because people are getting taken over all the fucking time by aliens and robots and
think about all the psychological tests they had to go through to get in.
Yeah, watching Wesley's friend die.
Yeah, and then never checking up on them again, apparently.
Yeah. The psych test, where it's like where you expect that you're going to have to take a test, and then they're like, psych!
It's like, actually, you were fine, but we've just given you some PTSD. We just figured we'd save ourselves the trouble later.
Have fun with that. Occasionally it breaks people, looks at Barclay.
Oh, how did he make it into Starfleet?
Well, again, I maintain that he was perfectly normal, and whatever they did in the psych test cracked him, and that would later break.
But the psych test is how you get into Starfleet.
Well, yeah, it caused a fracture that would later...
It just took a while.
Yep.
Okay, here's a question. No one other than maybe Tom question mark checked that this neurological interface thing was safe?
Yeah, you really think that would have been required?
Because he tells someone, I think we told him Seven, yeah, who offers to like look into it, and I don't know why she didn't already. Table flip.
She's like, this is kind of my jam. I know this better than anyone.
He says, nope, I've already checked and it is fine.
He's like, well, you go to hell and you die.
How do you know, Tom? Well, she told me.
Who?
And then Janeway doesn't seem to know any of this has been going on.
Yeah, was she even in this episode?
Barely.
Because it just seems like this was a Tom project that Chakotay just said, okay, fuck it, I'll keep him. I'll make him happy and buy him
what else could go wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, also, what the fuck? We have a full complement of shuttles. How?
The vehicle printer.
We've seen them in Prodigy all over the place.
Replicator. Every ship's got one.
Fucking stupid line.
They build more. They never said they haven't built more.
Yeah, that's fucking Vork's job now. That's why we don't see him anymore.
Thank God.
He works the
Non-stop.
assembly line.
Him and Carrie. That's why we barely see Carrie as well. They're just like, oh god, they need another fucking shit. Jesus Christ.
I like the little story we got about Neelix's shuttle, the backseat.
Yeah, that was nice. That moment between...
I like the idea of let's go on a double date with our shuttles, and I thought that was very cute.
It was.
Another like just kind of random weird thing though is the greeting card from Naomi at the end.
Drawn poorly.
Like
a child.
Also,
not like a child, like an adult imitating how a child draws.
It also feels like it came out of nowhere.
True.
Naomi wasn't in the episode. She wasn't mentioned in the episode.
Yeah.
And then,
but she's the resident child.
Yeah, but why didn't they just get the actress in to hand him the card?
That's a good question.
Like, why is it...
Child wrangling is a big pain in the neck.
I guess, but then why even fucking bother with it?
Why not just have it be from Neelix?
They needed exactly 3 seconds extra. And, hey, this is from Naomi Wildman.
I guess so.
It's to remind you she's there without having to go through the, I'm sure, immense rigmarole you have to go through to legally have a child on set.
There's a lot of pain in the neck because you have to have... there's like very strict time limits they can be doing anything during.
Don't they also have to have like tutoring services?
All sorts of stuff, yeah. And in her case too, like there's only one of her. They don't have the twin backup like some shows do where that gives them more time because they can swap them out.
And they're saving her time for 7, which is the only time it's acceptable really to use Naomi.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I also... Just anytime you see what is supposed to pass as, a little kid drew this, they're never in the style that little kids draw. They're always too geometrically perfect.
Well, they're both too good and too bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not the right kind of bad.
Yeah. Because the thing is, a 7-year-old drawing a picture of a person is unrecognizable as a human.
The 7-year-old or the art?
This is why we love penguins.
I also feel like if anyone is maybe gonna be a little preternaturally good at art, it's maybe her. Just because like she's being raised by computers.
But it's still in the child type.
That's what I mean, though. That's why you're kind of right. It doesn't make sense either way. It should either be worse or way better.
Or or she programmed a computer to do it or something.
Did they really just not have like someone on the staff, like, could you have your kid draw this?
Here's the thing,
I was
right?
thinking that too.
Make sure you don't get B'Elanna's eyes.
We already talked about how the ship's interface is similar to the thing in the game.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we know that the game was Katarian technology.
Oh.
Naomi Wildman's half Katarian. So if she was in this episode, maybe she could have fucking helped them because she would have had the innate knowledge of like, oh, my people use this shit.
She's never met her father.
That's true.
She could have just,
she's the child genius.
She
of the
could
show,
have saved the
She's
day.
not that bad a child genius.
I know.
She could have saved the day by ramming her spikes into some kind of interface.
Yes.
Turns out that's the thing they don't mention. Her forehead and those spikes are actually like basically adamantium, and if she headbutts you, you are going to be very sad. So she headbutts Alice to death. The ship. You know, she's like she's like that fucking rhino helmet from Kid Chameleon. Yeah, there's a deep cut.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Weird old Sega
I wonder
game.
if like teenagers on that planet decorate their spikes.
Oh hell yeah! I bet they paint them.
I wonder if there's like punk ones that have like metal caps to go on them.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Stick a little clown nose on each one.
There you go.
Having a nap, you can hang a "Do Not Disturb" sign off of one of them.
Or several little ones off of all of them.
Fuck off, you bastard, I'm asleep.
Here's the thing. Unless they grow back, everybody would have broken ones by the time they were like 5.
Yeah.
Because you whack your head on shit all the time.
Well, that's why they
Low
gotta be
ceiling, gone.
or they gotta be really strong. Yeah.
Or really strong.
Whack your head on the ceiling, the ceiling's gone.
Yeah.
Oops.
If you jump and you hit your head on the ceiling, you just stick there.
Never bring Katarian children to a trampoline park.
This is why they caution her not to jump on her bed.
If they can't play soccer,
I was gonna say
they can't headbutt the ball.
And that volleyball's out too.
I mean, fuck. We also know that, like, just Klingons can't play soccer, because if they headbutt somebody, they fucking die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is how Worf killed that kid, right?
It is how Worf killed that
he
kid.
did kill that kid.
That's such a sad episode.
I have issues because I murdered a child.
It was an accident.
Wait, was that the Ryza episode though?
Might have.
Is it also the Ryza? What did we get? Like the best insight into Worf in the whole goddamn show, and it was in that piece of shit episode.
I don't remember it being the same episode.
When else has he had to explain why he's such a piece of shit?
That's true. It might be. I just I kind
Well,
of
Ames, what do you say?
suppressed that
know.
episode because of how shitty the
mostly bad.
For the best.
I have rewatched that and Prophet and Lace now.
Oh, you didn't pass Prophet and Lace?
No, she's
How does
committed.
it hold up the second time?
Wow, it sure is bad. Sure is bad. And I find
How was Distant Voices?
Oh, is that the Julian one?
That's the Julian
That's
one.
the segue into this blogtivity.
Thank you, Jake. Jake found the segue.
Yeah.
So this week, speaking of Julian's weird coma dream, we saw...
Dream, oh dream.
Gosh, dream episodes. Here's what we're talking about today. Because we saw some doctor stuff earlier that I allowed us to talk about.
Actually, a lot. We talked about it a
We
lot.
did.
I was gonna say, remember at the beginning we were like, "Oh, this will be a short episode."
Ames had too much.
No, we all
many
did.
things
I
to
think
shit
Too
on.
much bile.
Speaking of bile, oh boy, dreams. I hate most dream episodes. Let's talk about them now. Who's got a first contender?
Inner Light.
That's a good one. I actually glad you brought that up because I was going to say, do we want to count something like Distant Voices, which is a coma dream? If so, we got to count the Inner Light.
Or even, I feel like even the Tinker Tenor Dr. Spy isn't technically a dream because it's a daydream, which is different.
What about the one where, when Troy's being mind raped?
Gotta narrow it down.
Violations.
That one sucks.
That one's bad.
What happens in that one? I don't remember.
Oh god, the guy with the triangle costume who can help people unlock memories decides he just sometimes destroys people's minds. Troy goes into a coma where she dreams that she's being assaulted by Riker.
Right.
Bev goes into a coma in which she dreams that
she's being assaulted by Riker.
Also true. In which she sees Jack rise from the dead or
something
scary.
that fucking episode. A trash episode.
Yeah, a lot of awful things happen because this guy needs to mind rape you.
If we're counting comas, Shades of Grey.
Yep, Shades of Grey. That's a dream episode. 100%.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think of Shades of Grey.
Of course not. It's a terrible episode. It's a fucking clip show.
I mean, the thing about it, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a good episode, but to defend it in the slightest, more than it deserves.
Sure.
For a clip show, it has a decent amount of setup. Because I was watching it not too long ago, and it takes a long time before we get to the clip show. Because it's like... And we should probably... I bet if you listen to our episode on it, we would have remarked on the same thing. Like, you expect a clip show is going to be like 30 seconds of setup into the clip.
Remember that time we...
Yeah. Like the Simpsons clip show.
It takes... Like, there's a potential setup to an okay episode until we get to the dream sequences.
Yeah, I actually think the wrapper and the kind of, like, rationality for why this is a clip show is clever. It's still a terrible idea and they shouldn't have done it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they should have just given them a money for this fucking show.
Well, wasn't it the writer's strike, too?
Probably.
Maybe, yeah. I think that might have been part of it.
Yeah, but I remember them running out of money and the producers saying, you have this much money left. You can only use 3 sets. Please don't use any new characters because we can't pay them.
But we will give you this cool mind drill prop.
The best clip show ever is Clerks the
I
Cartoon.
knew you were going to say that.
Oh, I remember
Isn't it
that.
like the second episode?
It's the second episode.
Oh, right, and do they make up shit?
Yeah.
I think they eventually start just making shit up.
Is that the Deadly Motaba virus one? Or is that a different episode?
No, that's, I think, the third episode.
Oh.
Don't quote me.
Yeah, there's a
Cough
clever Always Sunny in
Always Sunny
Philadelphia
episode, yeah.
clip show in which the characters are just reliving memories, and then they start, because their memories are so faulty, they start just having memories that didn't actually happen, and they're like,
Nice.
that's not what happened. Why are you in your own dream looking in through a window?
At one point, they're like, oh, remember that time, and then they're remembering, they restate, like they went through great lengths to rebuild the set from Seinfeld and did just straight up a scene from Seinfeld with the actors from Always Sunny, and then afterward they're like, wait, that was just an episode of Seinfeld. That didn't happen to us.
That's awesome.
And then they're like, well, how did we all remember it together?
Well, the mind is a very trickable thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which is why the death penalty shouldn't exist, probably, because... Yeah.
Speaking of Deanna Troi dreaming, I'm going to throw out Night Terrors.
Yeah, you are.
Is that the one where she's like, I can't find you?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to
Because
think
they're
if that
talking
was
to
the
those-
same as that other episode. Or
There
if it was
was
a different
other
one.
aliens that... There were aliens that could only communicate through dreams.
But only Deanna could dream. Everyone else could no longer reach REM state.
Everyone else had insomnia.
Yeah. I
And
forgot that was the same episode.
Yeah, it's such a discombobulated mess of an episode.
Yeah.
Wow, that fucking episode.
I was going to say, here's a not a dream episode, but you think it's a dream episode. Schisms.
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
Riker.
Make me a table. No,
Oh.
another table. Oh, there's the exact table.
Yeah. I was going to say Riker in the Madhouse is sort of
Oh,
not
frame of
actually
mind.
dreams, but they're like sort of induced. So maybe.
I think frame of mind might count, though.
Okay.
I think that might count.
I don't know.
Since we're counting a lot of these other ones.
Oh, Caitlin wants to go. Let Caitlin go.
I was going to say, if you want to talk about an episode where Troy's dreams really came true, that's when the second Riker shows up and she gets to eat the Riker sandwich.
Yeah, actually, the really irritating thing about trying to find dream and nightmare episodes in Memory Alpha is just doing a search for the nightmare page. It lists times that people just used the word nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it sure was a nightmare when that happened. And I was like, oh my god, this whole article is useless.
Yeah.
So.
What about... Oh, God. Sorry.
No, you first.
Nope. It's gone.
Sorry.
No,
Chased
it's
it
okay.
out.
I'm a goldfish.
Do we count O'Brien's prison
Hard
scene?
time.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Thank you.
I think we
That's
do.
why I stopped. I had a feeling maybe you were
Well,
about
Well,
to-
that's why I lost it, because you fucking took it out of my head.
Yeah.
You want to count Hard Time?
I think so. I
That's a
think it
good
counts.
episode.
Well, I mean,
It
he's
is.
definitely, like, in stasis, and it's definitely only in his head, so that seems like the definition of dream.
I'm going to say Far Beyond the Stars.
Oh.
That is a prophet vision.
We don't know. No.
Which one
Vision
is that?
in the Sand is a prophet vision. Far Beyond the Stars is Cisco has like a stroke and is having a coma dream.
I always understood that as the prophets giving that to him.
I mean, it might be, but then that's the same thing as Hard Time, right? Because that's the aliens
giving him a...
Oh.
Wait, is that the one where he's a writer?
Yeah.
a writer.
Yeah, in the
Okay, because
50s.
I was just like, what about the one where he's a writer? That's the one. Fucking idiot.
Well, in that case, the Thaw was basically another coma dream.
Yeah.
Which one's the
That's
Thaw
the
again?
one with Michael McKean.
Oh, yeah, definitely counts.
Oh,
Yeah,
gross,
yeah.
and the fucking clowns and shit.
Yeah.
No, I hate that episode.
Oh,
Did I hate that episode?
I think
feel
so.
like I hated
It's
that
not
episode.
great, but it's not the worst.
I don't know why
Well,
you guys
Michael
hated that
McKean's
episode
good,
so
but it's
much,
just
so.
it's clowns.
Yeah, clowns.
Wait, shit, that sparked a thought, and now it's gone.
It'll come back. Cause
Oh!
okay, got it. Get it.
The sleepy aliens, the sleepy time aliens that Chakotay has to save everyone from with the moon.
Waking moments.
Sleepy time aliens. That makes them sound like benign, like they bring you tea when you have insomnia.
Yum, here's some melatonin tea for you. Would you like some honey? Yes, please.
Would we count the one where Julian and O'Brien go into Sloane's dreams? Not really dreams.
If we're-
I
they
feel
go
like
into his mind.
I feel like based on I don't know, based on the
That's a
criteria we've
weird one.
established, like maybe.
I don't know. That episode, I wish it didn't fucking exist.
Mm.
Extreme Measures, Jesus Christ. I don't know, because I don't remember how they got in there.
Sloane's in a coma. So they know they're in there.
They had to link up to his brain. Like they had to go into they had to dream.
Yeah.
With their brains linked to his brain.
Sure, I'll count it, but Jesus Christ, I hate that episode
it was pretty
so
dumb.
much.
Okay, what about Inception?
What about it? I like Inception.
We
Wait,
have
that's
to go
not a
deeper.
Star Trek episode.
Okay, one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this blogtivity this week was so that I could shit more on Phantasms. Which is the one where, like, Troy is a cake and Bev is drinking Riker's brain through a straw.
fucking
Is that
episode.
when we're having cake with
Something peptide?
some kind of peptide, mint peptide frosting?
Yeah.
Cellular
And it's
peptide.
just random fucking shit.
Yeah.
And I
Plus,
fucking
Tom Petty
hate
already
it.
did it. We've already eaten a girl cake, and that
And it was a much better cake.
It was.
I don't even remember, like, aside from the stupid dreams, I don't even remember what the point was, what was causing it.
Aliens. There was an alien
Sure.
sucking on everyone's head, and only
Oh.
Data could see it, but he didn't know how to interpret it, so he interpreted it in his dreams as these fucking
Oh, the
visions of
paintings.
shit.
What was this? The one where he was doing weird paintings?
No, that's a different one.
Birthright Part 1.
Oh,
Which I
yeah,
guess
great.
also counts?
It
Yeah,
does, of course
definitely,
it does.
yeah.
Because
Definitely.
his dream
I don't
subroutine
remember
kicks
anything
in.
about it aside from the paintings.
He finds out how to activate his dream program with the help of LaForge and Bashir.
And Dr. Soong.
And
Well, no,
Dr.
that's
Seuss.
Birthright, not...
Oh,
Are you talking
yeah.
about Birthright or Phantasms?
The
Both
one with
now.
the
I don't
birds.
know.
They've merged.
The one with the birds is Birthright.
I'm talking about the one with the paintings.
Yeah, where he's painting his dreams.
He's painting some birds.
and they're all pictures of his dad
And Spot is the captain!
and Spot as the captain. And it's because Dr. Soong had given him the ability to dream, but he had to achieve a certain level of sentience before it would activate.
Once you reach level 50,
then
dream unlocked.
You unlock
Dreaming
dreaming.
unlocked, yeah.
I think
Makes
you mean
sense.
Shap.
But you can only dream of birds.
Shap 50.
And there was like his dad as a blacksmith. And
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's another
Is that
really
a
messy episode.
fucking Alan Moraine?
Yeah, it
reference?
is.
Oh,
But that's not a
no.
dream.
That's not a
Because
dream,
they're
no,
in a
'cause
holodeck. That's a
yeah,
holodeck
'cause they're-
episode.
It's not a dream, it's a
Literally
fucking
brought in.
nightmare.
Okay, I got one. Debatably, Tapestry. Because at the end of the episode, he's not sure if it was actually Q or
Ooh.
if he just had like a dying dream.
Interesting.
Jean-Luc Picard? That's that one, right?
Yep.
Great.
Okay, one of our favorites from a while ago is in Deep Space Nine, Business as Usual, when Quark becomes a weapons dealer, and the guilt-ridden dream he has with O'Brien screaming in his face, "You killed my baby! You killed my baby!"
I forgot about
And
that.
I love that so much. It's one of few good uses of a dream I'll allow.
Speaking of Quark, what's that one where he dreams that
The Nagus?
Rom is the Nagus?
Oh, what one is that?
In the best foreshadowing ever.
Yeah.
When I was like, dude, why would Rob ever be the Nagus?
Oh my god, that was as bad as the time with Star Trek V, but I had to wait a year for the payoff.
He was trying to cheat somebody.
Well,
That doesn't
that
narrow
narrows it
that
down.
Yeah, like...
No, he was trying to cheat his own death because Brunt...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a messy
Wait,
episode.
is that the one where Brunt, like, paid for his remains?
Yes.
I think it might have been, actually.
I forget
So the
what
one
it's
where he was
called.
asking Garrick to murder him? What's that episode
Yeah.
where he wants Garrick to murder him?
That was the one with Brunt. I just can't remember the title.
Some dumb bullshit.
Yeah, some very dumb bullshit. Yeah, that was a stupid dream, though. That was a
I've
bad
come
one.
to collect. Fucking Brunt, you damn dumb teeth.
Well, yeah, it's because Quark gets bad medical advice. Somebody tells him
he's got like Ferengi death disease.
Yeah.
But then, good news, you're not gonna die. That's great. I can sue him for malpractice.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
No, I'll look it up. I'll probably put it on the Tumblr, because I've forgotten the title of that one, too. Would you guys count Coda, the one where Janeway talks to
Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Because he's able to access her mind because she's on the brink of death, so it's, a dying dream.
Yeah, it's another one of those coma dreams.
Yeah.
Like, here's another coma dream kind of a thing. Dark Page, the one with Luoxana reliving the memory of her
her
dead
dead
daughter.
daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would count. Not
Yeah,
a good
that's
episode, but it would count.
There's
Oh.
a wolf.
There is.
Oh, he's a pretty wolf. He's
Good-
a good boy.
Good puppy. Love you.
How about the Discovery episode where they have to go into the Kelpian kid's dream to prevent him from creating
Wasn't that
another
a
fur?
holodeck?
I thought it was a dream.
I don't. I forget a lot of
What season was that?
There's
The most-
three.
Yeah, season
Or-
3.
I liked that.
But was it his dream?
I
can't
don't remember.
can't
I think
remember.
it was-
I thought it was a dream, but
I
it
thought
might have
it was
been,
a
it might have
holodeck.
been a holodeck. But he had been in there for like years. I thought it was like he was in stasis or something.
No, because I think what it was is he was the lone survivor, and the ship just had.
This
He
is
was
why I
being-
don't like
He was being
Discovery.
raised by a hologram. I
Yeah.
don't think he was in stasis. I think he was just on his
okay.
own.
Doug Jones didn't have to sit in the makeup chair for 3 days. He was probably thrilled.
Oh, he looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
that
a
might
lot
have
of.
been that
Because
might
he
have
was
been a
all
holiday.
pushing 60 in that. He's like 60-something now.
Well,
Doug Jones
the
looks
fucking
incredible.
the guy playing the other Kelpian, and that's like even older.
Was he?
Yeah.
Sukal?
Yeah,
Dang.
he's the father in the Jim Carrey Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I think I told you at the time.
Maybe you did.
Other things we haven't seen yet, though, but the rest of us at the table has seen before. So I don't think these are mild spoilers because, fuck it.
Yeah, we already spoiled some stuff. I'm gonna put tags on this one.
Star Trek Picard. Picard dreams of Data and how much he loves Data, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
That was a nice one.
One of few good things from Picard.
And actually, that's in the fucking trailers even. So
Well,
That's a great. I hope that's the name of the finale of Picard, the final episode. A few good things.
body parts. That was the episode
thank you, Chris.
with
Oh,
the
yeah.
dream.
Yep,
Is
you're
that
right.
the one where
Ugh.
Data's head is in a cave?
No,
No,
that's not.
that's,
Let's not bring that
Zero
up again.
2 or something.
Let's not break that that
Li-
one up again.
list of known Ferengi Grand Nagai, which I hate.
Oh, I don't like that.
Gint.
It makes
Smeet.
sense though, because that's the
Yeah. Gint, Smeet, Zek, Quark, briefly, Brunt, acting, Rom.
Acting grand.
what was it? Gint?
Gint.
That seems like a swear word.
That's the first Grand Nagus, apparently.
Doesn't it
We are
though?
getting-
you bloody gint!
You're
It
getting
feels-
into so
yeah.
many tangents,
Oh, it
and I
does.
want
It
to get
sounds
this
like
wrapped
Git.
up.
Sounds
It
like
does
Git.
sounds like
Free.
Git.
The other Picard example that I had from a list I read. Soji dreams of being a doll, and that's how she comes to figure out that everything is fucking wrong.
Sure.
I don't remember that scene, but okay.
Yep, it was a good scene, I remember. And then a bunch of Voyager things in 1, where Seven is alone on the ship, going out of her mind.
Is that
Yep.
that a dream, or is that just her going out of her mind?
She has a specific dream of being in an Arctic wasteland, and the CG looked terrible.
I remember that.
That was a
Okay.
dream.
Okay,
That part was
that
interesting.
part was a dream.
The rest, who the
was
fuck?
she just hallucinated?
Yeah, a lot of the rest I would say were just hallucinations.
If
if we opened up hallucinations, we'd be here for fucking days.
Well, because then we'd also have to include, like...
Prophet visions?
No, I was gonna say fucking spirit visions or whatever.
Spirit visions.
Spirit, whatever, yeah,
Vision
fucking...
Quest.
Vision Quest, thank you. With
There haven't
Chakotay.
been that many of those, though. There have been
It's
a ton
been too
of
many.
Yeah, I was
orb
just gonna say.
experiences.
Yeah.
There's a couple other Voyagers coming up. There's a couple Enterprise coming up. I watched one. I watched Shuttlepod 1 recently for one of the other blogtivities. And there's a very stupid dream in which we objectify T'Pol, because of course we fucking do.
What's T'Pol, the lady?
T'Pol is the
Vulcan.
Vulcan.
Um,
And the last one on my list, unless you guys have more to add, First Contact, Picard dreams of having
Oh,
been
yeah,
the
that's
Cletus.
true. He
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
What was the deal with the episode of Strange New Worlds where Mbenga has to...
That is an alien doing
Influence.
That's an alien thing,
yeah. Strange World, I don't think it has any. Does Prodigy? You think it would, but I don't think it does.
I don't think I saw it. I don't think Prodigy did. I don't think... If Lower Decks did, I can't think of any.
TAS?
There are none on this list from TOS or TAS.
I didn't think TOS
TOS
did.
I don't
somehow,
remember any.
despite being the campier show, never went dream.
Good.
That's strange.
Good for them.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
some of
because
these are
they-
good, but
Because they did parallel development instead of
they
dream.
Yeah, you don't
That
have to
was
dream.
their
You just go.
mistake.
You just fucking go to Nazi planet.
or you go back in time through the Guardian. You don't
Yeah.
have to dream about.
You don't have a holodeck, you have the actual fucking thing for reasons.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I could think of. If there are any others, you might find them over on our Tumblr. SSH3podcast.com.
.com.
I kind of wish that wasn't a thing.
What's that even from?
Yahoo!
Is it a Yahoo thing?
No. .com is Expedia.
Oh, right.
.com.
You're just giving them constant free advertising.
No, they
They
pay
don't
us.
exist anymore?
We agreed that we weren't going to tell them about the money from Expedia. Yes, they do still exist.
Okay.
I used them recently for the doctor's travel.
Oh.
Yes.
The AMH? He's traveling here?
He is.
Yay. Well, speaking of other .coms, I hope you're following us over on SoundCloud.com or whatever podcasting application you use. There's fucking tons of them.
You found us once, you can do it again.
Yeah, use a Google, use an Apple, eat an apple, do the thing.
Shit your pants.
Listen to all the other episodes. Next week we're back with a new one. It's going to be another Voyager. We're in Voyager Season 6. Our next episodes are going to be Riddles and Dragon's Teeth.
But I'm going to be introing that one, so maybe skip it.
Yikes. Don't skip it. It'll be a good time. We'll be here doing that. We'll have more blogtivities. Like I said, they're on the Tumblr. Catch up on all the great stuff on the Tumblr. It's been a lot of fun writing up new things, finding screen grabs, doing that. We're on Facebook and Twitter. It's fine. That's fucking it. I dreamed that this was Ames.
This is Caitlin.
Ooh, I'm a ghost for some reason. That's Jake.
And am I a dream? Or am I a holodeck malfunction? This is Chris.
A nightmare.
Aww.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Now that you're recording, just so it's on the record, you don't have to put this in the episode, but just so it's on the record, we were watching last couple weeks ago on the Star Trek Pluto TV channel, they were playing Conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
And I was lamenting how, like, it's not a great episode, but
No.
it's like an aborted plot line.
Yeah.
It could have been interesting if they brought it back.
More like
In the
aborted.
spirit, in the spirit of the Darth Maul, my prediction for Picard Season 3 is the alien menace is somehow related to, if not exactly, the fucking neck bugs from Conspiracy.
I'm not gonna lie, Jake. I was thinking this the other day.
I hope not, because there's already way too much going on in that season, and it hasn't even started yet.
What do you mean?
At time of recording.
It's not overwhelming with Moriarty and Lore and Frau Farbissina and Radish Boy / clone of Renee.
Wait,
Definitely Clone of Renee. Calling it now.
I mean, Radish Boy
I'm just excited
is
to
the
see
meme
Worf.
answer, but I'll go with Radish Boy.
Worf has ears for the first time.
Are they sexy
Well,
ears?
it's just because they
Yes.
styled
good.
his hair. Presumably, he always had ears. We just couldn't see them.
There was never proof that
No,
there were
sorry.
ears.
There's their new ears.
I mean, we've seen other Klingons with ears, so our assumption is that, like,
Worf lost his in a Targ
Whoa.
accident.
If we assumed that every Klingon was representative of Worf, I mean, we've seen Klingons that have great children. You can't say that shit about Worf. Just kidding. Alexander was alright at the end.
I like DS9 Alexander.
Yeah, adult Alexander was alright.
Like, you fucked me up, Dad, Alexander.
but not really for adult Alexander.
Yeah, don't think about it too hard.
Just young adult Alexander.
Oh, but now I'm so clumsy, and I just drop plates wherever I go.
Oh, boy.
Way better than annoying child
That's
Alexander.
fair.
I mean,
Dropping plates wherever he goes, Alexander, is relatable AF, as the kids say.
doing my own dental surgery is better than...
It's interesting,
Child
though, that, like,
Alexander.
Alexander, like, Worf lived with his parents on Earth for a very long time. Alexander lived with the parents on Earth for probably less time. Yet Alexander goes by Alexander Rozhenko, and Worf does not. Worf never adopted his human parents' name.
Huh.
It's true. It's true.
That's because he didn't want to be son of Worf, because fuck you,
Yeah, well,
Dad.
that just like, Worf was proud of his father. Alexander is not.
And his father fucking brought dishonor, so,
Yeah.
on his whole family, so...
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Alexander the Oh god, that's the fucking Henry Janeway. Oh, Alexander the Great by fucking skin of my balls. Get the fuck out of here.
Alright, let's get the room tone.
That's okay, just so we have it on the record. That's who I think's gonna be the big bad in
Henry
season 3 of
Janeway?
Picard. Henry Janeway is gonna show up and put us all to sleep with his stupid fucking stories.